Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 129, so let's get to it. Episode 129 begins in Slateport City. Go is here to meet up with everyone in Project Mew. Go soon runs into Horace and the two of them express just how happy and excited they are because the search for Mew is finally here and because they get to go on the search together. Gary then appears and he says that it's a pity that Go won't be able to watch the finals of the Masters tournament. But Go says that it's fine because he knows that Ash will win since they promised each other that they will be smiling when they meet again. In response to this, Gary smiles while saying, "Interesting." Go, Gary, and Horace then meet up with Professor Amaranth, Danica, and Quillen, who are waiting by the Project Mew laboratory. Before entering the lab, Go looks up into the sky while saying, "Ash, give it your all." The episode then cuts to Ash, who does the same thing that Go just did. He stops before entering the place where his dream awaits so that he can look up at the sky while saying to his friend, "Give it your all." Despite being far apart, Ash and Go are still rooting for one another, which is nice. So the episode then cuts to one of the locker rooms of Windon Stadium, where Ash gets ready for the battle alongside his Pokemon. After exclaiming that they are all ready, they all cheer that they will win in unison. Dawn and Chloe then enter the locker room, which shocks Ash. Chloe says that she and Dawn are here to cheer for Ash, and that she will be cheering extra to make up for Go's absence. Chloe then says that she also wants to show Eevee an official battle. This makes Eevee happy. Chloe goes on to say that everyone in Ceres insisted to this, cheering for Ash as well, so Ash should do his best. Dawn says that she has been watching the tournament on TV, but that she just couldn't sit back and watch from home. It is of course very nice to see Dawn and Chloe here. I do have to say, however, that it is unfortunate that Ash's other friends did not show up to watch the battle. At the very least, the ones that have appeared in Pokemon Journeys should be here as well. I would understand if only Chloe was here since she is from Pokemon Journeys. But if Dawn is here, then Ash's other friends should be here as well. My guess is that since having so many characters return would be very intensive in terms of animation and in terms of money, since they would need to get the voice actors on board, they opted instead to just have as few characters as possible return. And they chose Chloe because she is from Pokemon Journeys and Dawn because she is the one from Ash's friends that interacted with Chloe the most. And it would feel odd if Chloe shows up by herself. Also, Dawn is the ideal choice since Sinnoh/Generation 4 was very prominent during Pokemon Journeys due to the Diamond and Pearl remakes and Legends Arceus. So the episode then cuts to another locker room, where Leon thinks about how he feels about the battle. He says that the tension he is feeling is nice, and he wonders why he is reminded of the first day he ever battled. We then get a flashback of this first battle, which was between Leon and Sonia. I am sure that Leon is reminded of his first battle because back then he felt the same excitement that he feels now. Also, it is a shame that we don't see what Pokemon Sonia used to battle Leon. The episode then cuts to the battlefield, where everyone eagerly awaits the start of the battle. Jesse and James get ready to stream the battle while providing their commentary on it live. However, Meowth reminds them that their true objective is to steal strong Pokemon. Realizing that Meowth is right, Jesse and James agree to watch the battle diligently so that they can determine which Pokemon they should steal. Meanwhile, Piplup shows off his cheering outfit and routine, which is adorable. Chloe says that Piplup is cute, and Dawn reveals to Chloe that this is how she and Piplup cheered for Ash in Sinnoh. Dawn then wonders if Eevee would like to try cheering as well, and Eevee does give it a try. She uses a pom-pom with her tail. This delights Chloe, who says that Eevee is very cute, which is very much the case. Dawn and Piplup are also very happy. Now this entire scene is just so adorable and sweet. The episode then cuts away from Windon Stadium to show that Alon, his Charizard, Miting, Chespy, Professor Sycamore, Lance, his Dragonite, and Iris are all watching the battle. It is of course very nice to see all these characters again, even if they are only on screen briefly. The episode then cuts back to Windon Stadium, where Ash makes his entrance. Upon entering the battlefield, Ash is showered with cheers and words of encouragement from the audience. This surprises Chloe and Eevee, since they likely did not expect that Ash would receive so much support. Also, I love how Dawn and Piplup cheer here. They are both so adorable. Meanwhile, Team Rocket decides that this isn't the time to be streaming. Instead, they should be wholeheartedly cheering for Ash. You just can't help but smile every time that Team Rocket decides to support Ash. While Ash makes his way to the battlefield, we see that Cynthia and Diantha are still here in Windon Stadium, and they are watching the battle. We also see that Steven is watching the battle as well. So the other 6 members of the Masters 8 are all watching the finals, which is very cool. Once Ash reaches his side of the battlefield, he eagerly and confidently awaits the arrival of Leon, who soon makes his entrance. While Leon makes his way to his side of the battlefield, Sonia arrives and she meets up with Hop, who is surprised because Sonia decided to come see the battle live. Sonia says that she just had to watch from up close. It is of course very nice to see Sonia again, and I am glad that she decided to watch the battle in person. The episode then cuts away from Windon Stadium to show that Raihan is watching the battle as well, which is cool. Raihan for sure wouldn't want to miss the epic battle between the 2 trainers he has sworn to defeat. We also see that Professor Oak, Ash's mother, Tracy, and Ash's Pokemon are watching the battle as well. Professor Oak says that Ash has grown remarkably, since he can now compete evenly with champions. Ash's mother agrees, and she says that Ash should trust his Pokemon and do his best. Upon reaching his side of the battlefield, Leon says, while removing his cape, that he and Ash finally meet on the battlefield. Ash adds that in the finals no less. Leon exclaims that there is no better stage, and that no one has looked forward to this battle more than him. In response to this, Ash and the Pikachu get serious and ready to battle. The referee then goes over the regulations for the finals, which are the same regulations used for the semifinals. Each trainer can use 6 Pokemon. There is no limit on match length or switching out Pokemon. Whoever makes all 6 of their opponent's Pokemon unable to battle will be the winner. Additionally, trainers are only allowed a single use of only one of the following: Mega Evolution, C-Move, or Dynamax. However, before the referee can finish saying this last rule, Leon stops him, saying that using just one is no fun, and he says that Ash should use all of them. Ash is understandably confused by this. Leon says that this is a serious battle, the climatic battle, and he and his Pokemon will face Ash with everything they have. So he wants Ash and his Pokemon to battle with everything they have as well, and that he wants to battle and defeat all 3 gimmicks. Leon then wonders what the audience thinks. He wonders if they wanted to see Ash use his full power. Everyone in the audience cheers in agreement, including Sonia and Hop. Chloe meanwhile wonders what using all three gimmicks means. Dawn says that it means that the battle will be incredible. And I love that Dawn then raises her fist into the air while saying, "Ash, go get him!" Piplup seemingly says the same thing, or he agrees with Dawn, which is adorable. The referee calls the management of the World Coronation Series to see if they agree with Leon's suggestion. They do, and the referee reveals this to everyone. He then wonders if Ash accepts this, and Ash adamantly says yes. This makes Leon smile and nod. Cynthia says that having Ash use all three gimmicks is very much something Leon would do. Diantha agrees, and she says that this will be a heated battle unlike any seen before. I have to say that Leon declaring that Ash should use all three gimmicks is easily the highlight of this episode for me. Ever since episode 85 of Journeys, I have wanted to see a battle where Ash uses all the gimmicks. And I even said that I was hoping that the semi-finals and or the finals of the Masters tournament would allow the use of more than one gimmick. I honestly never thought that my wish would be granted. So this part of the episode made me extremely happy and excited. Also, I did wonder what gimmick Ash would use for the finals, and since there was evidence to support his use of each one, I honestly did not know for sure which one he would use. And since I had given up on my wish, I really did not think that he could use all three. Therefore, I was sadly unable to predict this. So, with both trainers ready to go and with the regulations out of the way, the battle finally begins, with Ash and Leon sending out their first Pokemon at the same time. Leon's first Pokemon is Cinderace, while Ash's first Pokemon is Pikachu, which is surprising. Ash says that he decided that Pikachu would be his first Pokemon for this battle. I guess because he wants to start such an important battle with his greatest partner. Now, Leon has never used a Cinderace before, so he is revealing a new Pokemon of his. And I love that his Cinderace immediately distinguishes itself from Ghost Cinderace by having a deeper voice and by hopping around while in a fighting stance. This shows that this Cinderace is more mature, a more skilled fighter, and that it loves battling more. So Pikachu begins with Thunderbolt, while Cinderace counters with Scorching Sands, a ground-type move that is fitting for a fire-type Pokemon to use, since it can burn the target. Also, this is the first time this move is used in the anime, and I love the animation for it. Pikachu ends up being hit by the Scorching Sands, which is a super effective hit. But Pikachu is still able to hit Cinderace with Thunderbolt. However, Cinderace is completely unaffected, and it disperses the Thunderbolt with a kick. This shocks Ash. Leon wonders if this is Ash's first time seeing the ability Libero. Ash does not know what Libero is, so Leon explains that Libero allows Cinderace to become the type of the move it uses. I did predict/hope that Leon's Cinderace has Libero, so I am happy that this is the case, and interestingly, this was hinted at in episode 128. Since Cinderace is now a ground-type Pokemon, Ash decides to withdraw Pikachu, which is the right choice. But it is also odd, since Ash had no problem with having Pikachu face Cynthia's Gastrodon, who is also a ground-type Pokemon. Surprisingly, Leon also decides to switch Pokemon. Ash's second Pokemon is Gengar, while Leon's second Pokemon is Inteleon, another Pokemon that Leon has never used before, meaning that he reveals another new Pokemon of his. Ash is shocked when he sees Inteleon, and he mentions that it feels like he is facing Ghost Pokemon. This is the reaction I expected Ash to have. So Gengar begins with Shadow Ball. Inteleon counters with Snipe Shot, which scores a headshot on Gengar. But Gengar is still able to fire off the Shadow Ball. However, Inteleon uses its tail to destroy the Shadow Ball. Inteleon then uses Dark Pulse, but Gengar avoids it by hiding in the shadows. However, Inteleon uses Aqua Jet while spinning around, which creates a vortex of water that knocks Gengar out of the shadows. Gengar is also hit repeatedly and forced to play an extreme game of jump rope. Now, as Dawn soon realizes, Inteleon is using Counter Shield, which is surprising. Leon says that he decided to add Ash's interesting trick to his arsenal. Leon did seem to like the Counter Shield when he saw it during Ash's battle with Cynthia, so it makes sense that Leon would want to replicate the strategy. So Gengar counters the Counter Shield with Will-O-Wisp, which evaporates the water, leaving behind a curtain of steam that obscures the battlefield. Now, I thought that Ash would have Gengar take advantage of the cover provided by the steam in order to attack Inteleon. However, Ash instead withdraws Gengar and he proceeds to Gigantamax Gengar. This did surprise me since I figured that Ash would save his trump cards for later. And I do think that there should have been more build-up to Ash using each gimmick. He resorted to Gigantamaxing Gengar way too fast, which decreases the anticipation to this moment and thus the excitement caused by it. Though I was still very much thrilled when I saw Gigantamax Gengar. Now, I love that the episode cuts away from the battle to show that Marnie, her Morpeko, Pierce, and the main 3 Team Yell grunts are watching the battle as well. It is of course great to see these characters again, and it's fitting that they are shown now, since the episode they appeared in is the episode in which Gengar used Gigantamax for the first time in an official battle. So Inteleon uses Snipe Shot with both hands, meaning that it dual wields Snipe Shot, which is very cool. I guess that Inteleon has battled so much that it unlocked Akimbo for its finger guns. Also, Leon did not tell Inteleon to dual wield. Inteleon did this on its own. I guess that it decided that this extra firepower is necessary since it is now facing a Gigantamax Pokemon. Gengar counters with G-Max Terror, while Inteleon, like a total badass, is able to shoot down most of the G-Max Terror. It still ends up taking a hit in the end. However, despite this, Inteleon still manages to score a headshot on Gengar, who clearly takes a lot of damage. Purple shackles soon appear around Inteleon's ankles. This signifies that it's under the additional effect of G-Max Terror, which prevents the target from switching out. Inteleon then uses Dark Pulse while dual wielding. Gengar counters with Max Ooze. Inteleon is soon surrounded by poison that continuously shoots out towards it. But just like before, Inteleon leaps around, expertly avoiding and dispersing everything thrown at it. This forces Gengar to power up the Max Ooze. However, Inteleon is still able to avoid taking any damage like a pro. Eventually, Inteleon jumps and it spins around to block several hits with its tail, and then, while spinning in slow motion, it shoots the Dark Pulse, which lands a direct, super effective, and very powerful hit on Gengar that causes shockwaves. Ouch. Man, this Inteleon is way too cool, and this moment right here is simply amazing. However, despite everything it did, Inteleon still ends up taking a direct hit from Max Ooze when one final pillar of poison erupts behind it, and Inteleon is knocked out. Meaning that Ash got the first knockout in this battle, which is very impressive. Now Gengar does go back to normal here, which made me think that it was defeated, since it still had one more max move left, and Dark Pulse clearly did a lot of damage. However, Gengar is just fine. It even dances happily when Ash wonders if it's alright. Apparently, as stated by the announcer, Gengar just reverted back to normal because it took a hit in a critical point. This of course makes no sense, and I think that it's a shame that Gengar did not get to use a third max move, since this would have enhanced the battle, because Inteleon would have expertly fought back against this third max move as well. Having Inteleon endure the max ooze only to then fall to max starfall in a similar way would have added a lot to the battle, since Gengar and Inteleon would have done more and there would have been more back and forth between them. Now I love that everyone celebrates Gengar's victory, namely Team Rocket, Ash's Pokemon, Professor Oak, Ash's mother, Tracy, Dawn, Chloe, Piplup, and Eevee. We also see that Allister is watching the battle as well, and he quietly rejoices because Gengar won. It's nice to see that Allister still watches and celebrates what his friend Gengar does. So Leon withdraws Inteleon and he says that Inteleon fought well. He then says that he will build upon what Inteleon did. Leon then says that he will catch up to Ash. This surprises Ash. Leon then smiles, showing that he is having a blast and that losing a Pokemon only ignited his desire to fight. Now I love this moment because it shows that Leon does not look down on Ash and he sees Ash as a worthy opponent. Leon is very sincere when he says that he will catch up, which shows that he acknowledges that Ash is currently winning and that this is fine. Leon is not bitter or angry. Instead, he is just earnestly having fun and he is happy because he finally has someone that he can compete with. Sonia says that Leon is fired up and that he is amazing when he gets like this. Sonia is clearly speaking from experience, or she just knows Leon that well, and she is basically hinting that Leon is about to turn the battle around. So Leon sends out his next Pokemon, which is Mr. Rime. Yet another Pokemon that Leon has never used before, meaning that he reveals yet another new Pokemon of his. Also, I love that Mr. Rime energetically tap dances while spinning its cane and holding its hat down. Talk about a fun entrance. Mr. Rime begins with Freeze Dry, while Gengar uses Sludge Bomb. The Freeze Dry ends up freezing the Sludge Bomb and hitting Gengar. However, Gengar trembles, and Mr. Rime then trembles as well. Ash smiles menacingly because he knows what just happened. Leon is shocked, but he also knows what's up, so he calls for Freeze Dry again to confirm his theory. Mr. Rime is unable to use Freeze Dry. I love that Mr. Rime is like, "Oh, what's wrong? Come on, work! Why won't it work?" Now this confirms Leon's suspicion, which is that Gengar has Cursed Body as its ability. Leon says this and Ash confirms that this is true. He also says that Mr. Rime can't use Freeze Dry for a while. So, Gengar's ability is revealed in this episode, which is cool. However, there is no need for Mr. Rime to use Freeze Dry again, since Gengar ends up frozen, meaning that one Freeze Dry was all it took to incapacitate Gengar. Mr. Rime then uses Psychic Terrain, which boosts the power of Psychic-type moves. Leon says that the battlefield has now become a stage for Mr. Rime. I love that Mr. Rime then elegantly skates on ice to get close to Gengar. After closing the gap, Mr. Rime uses Expanding Force, which breaks the ice, launches Gengar back, and it knocks Gengar out. So Ash and Leon are now tied. It is worth mentioning that Psychic Terrain boosts the power of Expanding Force by 50% on top of the 30% boost it gets for being a Psychic type move. So Gengar was hit by a very powerful move that was also super effective on it. Gengar's defeat saddens Team Rocket, Dawn, Chloe, Piplup, and Eevee. Leon then declares that he dedicates this victory to Inteleon, because Inteleon's hard work is what enabled Mr. Rime to defeat Gengar. I love that as Leon says this, Mr. Rime is dancing in the foreground. So, the episode ends with Leon saying that in a 6-on-6 battle, you should use your Pokemon to build up damage on the opponent, seizing each victory as a team. This shocks Ash, who realizes just what he is up against. So, overall, I think that this episode was great. It was a pretty good start to Ash vs Leon, and it had some very cool surprises. I was so happy and excited when Leon declared that using one gimmick is no fun, and that Ash should use all of them. This was easily my favorite part of the episode, since not only was it awesome and unexpected, but it means that the finals will be that much more amazing, and this also granted a wish I have had for a while, which is to see a battle where Ash uses all 3 gimmicks. As for the battle itself, Cinderace vs Pikachu was just a warm-up that served to reveal Cinderace's ability, which is Libero, just like I hoped. Seeing Libero in the anime was definitely a highlight. Gengar vs Inteleon was by far the best showdown. Inteleon using Counter Shield was very cool and unexpected. Inteleon was also such a badass throughout the battle, jumping and dodging all sorts of moves, and it even dual wielded its own moves, which was just amazing. Now, Gengar Gigantamaxing so soon was certainly a surprise, and I do think that there should have been more build up to this. Still, seeing Gigantamax Gengar again was a treat, especially because Gengar was able to overpower Inteleon thanks to its max moves. Max Ooze in particular was very cool, since it surrounded Inteleon, who was then constantly under attack by a barrage of poison. Gengar vs Mr. Rime was also nice, though mostly because Mr. Rime is such a funny Pokemon. It was definitely a blast to see it tap dance and skate on ice so gracefully. It was also amazing to see so many characters return. We got to see the other 6 members of the Masters 8, Marnie, Pierce, Allister, Raihan, Mighting, and Professor Sycamore, all watching the battle from afar. And we got to see Dawn, Chloe, and Sonia show up to see the battle in person. It really was great to see all these characters again. The only other complaints I have with the episode, apart from Gengar Gigantamaxing so soon, are that Gengar did not get to use 3 max moves and that Ash's other friends did not show up to watch the battle in person as well. But regardless, I still do think that overall, this episode was really good and an awesome start to the highly anticipated final battle. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.